Hi, my name is Claire Fleming. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Virginia, and I was a recipient of the PhRMA Foundation Predoctoral Fellowship in Drug Discovery. Biomedical research is so appealing as a career path because it's that combination of being both very intellectually interesting, you're always learning new things and making discoveries, which is very exciting in and of itself, but also, it's all grounded in the motivation that the work we do in the lab really can help improve patient lives because it's furthering our understanding of disease, which can be translated into future therapies. Our lab is interested in understanding the immune response to infectious disease. Specifically, I study the immune response to SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19 disease. And in SARS-CoV-2 infection, or any infection really, you want there to be some activation of the immune response because your body has to recognize and clear that invading pathogen. But if the immune system remains too highly activated for too long, your immune response can itself start to drive damage during infection. So our lab is interested in trying to understand why some patients develop that overactive immune response and what signals are driving that biologically. I specifically am interested in a cytokine called IL-33, a protein that's stored in the lung. When lung cells are damaged during infection, IL-33 is released and activates the immune response. I found in mouse models that blocking IL-33 signaling is protective in acute COVID. So the rest of my work is trying to pin down the mechanism through which IL-33 is driving that enhanced disease. This is a therapeutically relevant pathway in human COVID patients as well. And because viral pneumonias like COVID-19 remain a significant cause of morbidity and mortality, it's really important to better understand these immune pathways that could be targeted by therapeutic intervention. The receipt of the PhRMA Foundation Fellowship was very impactful to me. Of course, the financial support that supports the graduate student stipend is very helpful, but at the same time, it's also a form of external review of your graduate work, and in a way, external validation that the work that I'm doing in the lab every day is valuable and promising. And as an early career researcher, it's really meaningful to receive that kind of feedback from external scientists. Yeah, I think one moment that stands out so far during my graduate training was when I attended my first scientific conference. I went to my first conference when I was a second-year PhD student, and I was a little nervous going into it because I didn't really know what to expect. And as a second year, I was a little scared to present my work to the broader scientific community for the first time. But it was a really wonderful experience, and in sharing my work with others, I was surprised by just how freely everyone gave such valuable advice and feedback. And their suggestions are definitely things that I've incorporated as I've continued in this project. And I remember sitting in the conference on the last day listening to talks, and I was of course very happy to be there, but I was also very excited to leave and to get back to lab because I had all of these new ideas for experiments and just a renewed energy to keep working at this project and answer these important questions. My advice to other trainees at my stage of training would be to try as best you can to tailor your training to what your particular career goals are. And I think it can be quite difficult because as graduate students, we get very busy in the lab. Our focus is on the experiments. But I think taking some time to get out of the lab and go to career panels and network with alumni from your lab, or if you can't even take the time to go do an internship, I think those external experiences are really invaluable in helping you just realize the opportunity that's out there and also figure out what would be most personally fulfilling for you to pursue post-PhD. For my future career, I want to continue to conduct research in the fields of infectious disease and immunology. More specifically, I am interested in pursuing drug discovery in the biotech or pharmaceutical sector. I think that early stage drug discovery research is so interesting because you're doing exciting, still quite exploratory research, but it's all still with the goal of bringing drugs to the pipeline and helping patients. So I think that's kind of the perfect sweet spot that matches my interests.